But lots of components to
when
speak about, Doc Sir. The
yes.
drivers, how much of that 6.4% call was driven by hard data that was already available by late June? And how much of it really was judgment about the second round effects and the expectations?
Well, yes, we had to make judgments there, of course. It's not purely mathematical, purely mechanical. Okay, but transport and food, basically, we had to make adjustments for that, and seeing that there would be a possibility for them to go down, we had to factor that in. And guided by that model, of course, that and looking at the averages of all of these components. So the downward trends for those major components, the transport and food, were factored in there.
So how did you work out core inflation? Because that appeared to have continued to be toxic for a second straight month, right outside the comfort zone, 4% of the Bangko Sentral. It came in at 4.4%. How were you working that out?
Well, we still do monitor. They are significant components of the CPI, okay? And we might not have gotten it exactly at 4.4%, I'm sure, no? But everything else would average out to 6.4%, which we got right for a headline. Okay, but this is something that we will continue to monitor very closely because in light of the recent trends that it's going up.
Indeed, and when we look at the trends, we look at the main cause, and it's the U.S.-Iran war and the conflict again at the Strait of Hormuz, pushing up Dubai and WTI prices, so that's one. And then we have the removal of the suspension of the excise taxes on LPG and kerosene. So how do you think these would play into the inflation for July, for August, for September?
Well, these are really notable upward risks to inflation. So we'll have to factor them in. And that they could mean that inflation could remain elevated, although there is a chance for it to gradually ease. Okay, I know that the target for 2026 by the BSP is 6.4%. Okay, and ours is somewhere near that too, around the 5 to 6%. Okay, but in terms of these risks, okay, we have to note that there are several. Okay, one would be wage price spirals. Okay, so we have minimum wage hikes approved across the country. Okay, this is an upside risk. Okay, and the BSP might be forced to worry about broadening demand-driven second-round effects because of this. Okay, second would be global supply chain constraints. Okay, so the Middle East geopolitical hostilities would factor in here. Okay, it would continue to threaten global energy and fertilizer prices, which would directly feed into local transport and production costs. Okay, and also domestically we have utilities and tariffs. Okay, so we have pending electricity rate adjustments, okay, and higher rice tariffs. Okay, these could directly contribute to the elevated path of inflation, and also peso depreciation. Okay, so we have to monitor them, especially what's happening outside, because it's largely beyond anyone's control here in the Philippines. So at least we have identified these risks and we continue to monitor them.
Talk to us about that wage price spiral, a new component, if you will, because that wage hike of 85 pesos for Metro Manila workers had just come through in the past few weeks or so. What is the worst case scenario for that wage price spiral, considering that we also have to consider perhaps genuine softening of demand because of higher elevated inflation?
Yes, it's really interesting because this is precisely what the central bank warned, okay, that when it mentioned that it's trying to manage inflation expectations, okay, and try to prevent the anchoring of expectations, okay. So there, of course, would be changes because of this in terms of expectations. Okay, there might be temporary relief, but at the same time, it would mean greater costs for firms. Okay, in terms of compensation benefits, adjustments in pay scale, and so forth. Okay, so it's going to be a mixed picture. Okay, but overall, we do hope that this will not significantly cause an uptake for inflation. Okay, well, based on our model, we still see a downtrend for inflation for the entire year. It's going to average somewhere close to what the BSP also expects. Okay, but we have to monitor this also, no? Because I doubt that you know there would be especially for MSMEs, no, there would be great room to absorb these added costs. Okay, so it's something that we will have to closely monitor as well. But it's a risk also, and well, based on what we see, we still expect a downtrend, but this is something that has to be closely monitored.
In fact, you did say mixed picture, and the mention of
Yeah.
MSMEs in the wage hike, wage price spiral, all these risks appear to be more directed, is it correct, towards growth? Because if we see a lot of closures, perhaps, on MSMEs who couldn't handle an extra pay, salary increases for their workers, then the worst case scenario would be more closures.
That's a possibility right there, okay? Because these things play out that way. It's textbook. Okay, that's why when we have instant relief like this, okay, and it's natural, people would want to have relief because of the rising prices. Okay, there would be momentarily instant relief, but there are also going to be consequences that would play out, and that is, of course, a possibility that there might be firms that could not readily absorb these added costs.
And then that would mean an impact to growth. So what's the worst case scenario then to growth? As I know in our previous interviews, you've made a mention of that stagflation risk, where we're seeing elevated inflation and even slower growth eating into the economy.
Well, our assessment of the stagflation risk, okay, it's moderate but distinctly easing, if I may say so. Okay, especially following the June 2026 inflation print. Okay, so there still are risks here. Okay, but we're not really in a true textbook stagflationary crisis yet, okay? Because output is still expanding rather than contracting. Our GDP growth is low but positive, and that is, I think, what I also mentioned in our previous interview, that we do not want it in recessionary territory, okay? But still manage to keep it low and positive. Okay? And there is an indication that headline inflation peaked 2 months ago, okay, or 3 months ago. Okay, but the economic reality is what we would call a growth recession hybrid. Okay, so this growth recession hybrid speaks of growth being too low to rapidly reduce poverty, okay, while inflation remains too high to allow for monetary relief. So it's quite tricky, quite precarious. Okay, but we have to really monitor outside events closely, I think, because we are largely dependent on what happens outside.
Exactly. I mean, it's
So
it's
it's
really
that,
monitoring, and it's data-driven monitoring, if you will. If you
yeah.
speak with the Bangko Sentral governor, it's those data points that he's going to try to make sense with when he comes right down to that meeting in August for the monetary policy decision. How do you think they'll decide, given what we talked about, elevated inflation, even slower growth because of wage price spiral? Do you think they'd make a go now for that 25 basis point hike, or do you think they'll wait a little?
Well, probably they might wait a little. Okay. The central bank governor mentioned that there is room to do another hike. Okay. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. Because it is still a delicate balancing act. Okay. But all told, I think we should have a balanced mix in terms of policy. Okay, you know, we cannot afford to overburden monetary policy. Okay, and of course we need to also rely on fiscal support, especially in addressing supply side. Okay, and that is the delicate balancing act between monetary and fiscal policies.
So
Okay,
do you think it's
monetary
going to come
policy will try
in
to.
August, October, or December for that 25 bips of a hike?
Well, I don't think it would come in August. Okay, but depending on how things play out, okay, it's not yet clear whether we'll do it. Hopefully, if we're seeing a downtrend, okay, and it's sustained, okay, probably there wouldn't be much pressure to do it come October and the following months. Okay, but I don't see it happening in August.
All right.
Not
Well,
yet.
we'll leave it there then and check back with you near the time. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Sir Percival Reyes Peña of Ateneo de Manila University.